A star is extinguished. The life and death of JonBenét Ramsey. JonBenét Ramsey, a radiant 6-year-old, captivated hearts with her infectious smile and undeniable stage presence. Crowned Little Miss Colorado, she was a rising star in the world of child beauty pageants. On December 26, 1996, JonBenét's promising future was tragically cut short. Her lifeless body was discovered in the basement of her family's upscale home in Boulder, Colorado. The news of her untimely demise sent shockwaves across the nation, transforming a festive holiday season into a time of mourning and disbelief. The investigation that followed would become one of the most publicized and perplexing criminal cases in American history. The nation held its breath as investigators descended upon the Ramsey residence, transforming the picturesque home into a crime scene. The investigation would unearth a tangled web of clues, conflicting accounts, and tantalizing theories, each adding a new layer to the already complex narrative of JonBenét Ramsey's tragic end. A gruesome discovery, Christmas turns into a nightmare. The festive spirit of Christmas Day lingered in the air as the Ramsey family retired for the night, unaware of the horrors that awaited them. The following morning, December 26, 1996, began like any other with the promise of unwrapped presents and holiday cheer. Patsy Ramsey, JonBenét's mother, was the first to discover the unthinkable. At approximately 5:52 a.m., Patsy made a frantic call to 911, her voice trembling with panic as she reported her daughter missing. A ransom note, she claimed, had been left behind, demanding a hefty sum of $118,000 for JonBenét's safe return. The note was unusually long and detailed, immediately raising red flags for investigators. The arrival of the Boulder Police Department marked the beginning of a chaotic and, at times, mismanaged investigation. It was during this chaotic period, amidst the flurry of police officers and distraught family friends, that John Ramsey, JonBenét's father, made a chilling discovery. In the dimly lit confines of the basement, concealed within a seldom-used wine cellar, lay JonBenét's lifeless body. The puzzling evidence, unraveling the clues at the crime scene. The discovery of JonBenét Ramsey's body sent shockwaves through the nation, but it was the chilling details of the crime scene that truly gripped the public's imagination. Each piece of evidence, from the meticulously staged position of her body to the puzzling ransom note, seemed to deepen the mystery rather than offer clarity. The basement, where JonBenét's body was found, became the epicenter of the investigation. The garrote, a makeshift strangulation device, was a particularly disturbing detail. Crafted from a nylon cord and a broken paintbrush handle, it pointed towards a level of premeditation that sent chills down the spines of investigators and the public alike. The fact that the paintbrush handle originated from within the Ramsey home further fueled speculation that the killer was not a random intruder, but someone with intimate knowledge of the house. Adding to the complexity of the case was the presence of a ransom note, found by Patsy Ramsey on the staircase leading to the kitchen. Handwriting analysis initially pointed towards Patsy as the potential author, further entangling the parents in the web of suspicion. The ransom note riddle, a mother's plea or a calculated deception. The ransom note, discovered by Patsy Ramsey on the morning of December 26, quickly became a focal point of the JonBenét Ramsey investigation. Its unusual length and theatrical tone immediately struck investigators as odd, leading them to question its authenticity. Some experts suggested that the note was not a genuine plea for ransom but rather a carefully crafted fabrication designed to mislead the police. The note, penned on a notepad found inside the Ramsey home, was addressed to John Ramsey, JonBenét's father. It began with a dramatic declaration: "Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction." This opening statement, with its vague references to a foreign faction, seemed more akin to a Hollywood screenplay than a genuine ransom demand. The note went on to demand $118,000 in exchange for JonBenét's safe return, a figure suspiciously close to John Ramsey's recent bonus. The note's author claimed to be watching the Ramsey family's every move, warning them against contacting the authorities or alerting the media. Despite the suspicious nature of the ransom note, investigators were unable to definitively rule out its authenticity. Section 5. The Shadow of Suspicion, Scrutinizing the Family. The brutal murder of JonBenét Ramsey sent shockwaves through the nation, and as the investigation unfolded, the public's gaze inevitably turned towards the victim's family. The fact that JonBenét was murdered within the supposed sanctuary of her own home made it difficult to ignore the possibility that someone close to her might be involved. The Ramsey family, once a picture of affluence and happiness, found themselves thrust into the harsh glare of the media spotlight, their every move scrutinized and dissected. John Ramsey, JonBenét's father, was a successful businessman, the CEO of a multi-million-dollar technology company. His wealth and prominence, while initially painting a picture of a loving and supportive father, soon became points of suspicion. Patsy Ramsey, JonBenét's mother, was a former beauty queen herself, having instilled in her daughter a love for pageantry. Her behavior, at times erratic and inconsistent, fueled speculation that she might have been involved in her daughter's death. Section 6. A Trail Gone Cold, DNA and the Elusive Intruder. As the investigation into JonBenét Ramsey's murder progressed, the focus shifted from the family to the possibility of an intruder. The presence of an unlocked basement window, coupled with signs of forced entry, lent credence to this theory. The intruder theory, championed by former detective Lou Smith, proposed that an unknown assailant had gained access to the Ramsey home, possibly with the intention of committing a burglary. This theory gained further traction when DNA evidence, recovered from JonBenét's clothing and analyzed in 2003, revealed the presence of an unknown male profile. The DNA profile did not match any of the initial suspects, including members of the Ramsey family. Years later in 2016, a more advanced DNA analysis revealed that the original sample contained genetic markers from not one but 3 individuals, excluding JonBenét herself. The identity and potential involvement of these unidentified individuals remain a mystery to this day. Critics argue that if an intruder had indeed committed the crime, it would be highly unusual for them to target JonBenét specifically, leaving no other valuables untouched, and leaving behind a lengthy, rambling ransom note. Section 7. Shifting Sands of Justice, Exoneration, and Reopening the Case. The JonBenét Ramsey murder investigation was a roller coaster of twists and turns, marked by intense media scrutiny, public speculation, and conflicting theories. In 2008, a significant development shook the case to its core. The Ramsey family was officially cleared of any involvement in JonBenét's death. This exoneration, based on touch DNA evidence that pointed away from the family, was a pivotal moment in the case, shifting the focus away from the Ramseys and back towards the possibility of an unknown intruder. The touch DNA evidence, a relatively new forensic technique at the time, analyzed DNA profiles extracted from skin cells left behind when a person touches an object. In the Ramsey case, touch DNA found on JonBenét's clothing matched the unknown male profile discovered earlier, suggesting that this individual, and not a member of the Ramsey family, had been in contact with JonBenét at or around the time of her death. Despite the exoneration, the JonBenét Ramsey case remained open. Section 8. The public's verdict, media frenzy, and the quest for answers. The JonBenét Ramsey murder case wasn't just a tragic crime, it was a media spectacle that captivated the nation and fueled an insatiable public appetite for information. From the moment the news broke, the case became a fixture on 24-hour news channels, talk shows, and tabloid covers. The media, hungry for any scrap of information, dissected every detail of the case, often blurring the lines between fact and speculation. The Ramsey family, thrust into the harsh glare of the spotlight, found themselves judged not only by law enforcement but also by the court of public opinion. The public's obsession with the JonBenét Ramsey case speaks to a deeper fascination with true crime, particularly cases involving young victims and seemingly perfect families torn apart by tragedy. Section 9. An Enduring Enigma, JonBenét's Legacy, and the Search for Truth. More than 2 decades after her tragic death, the memory of JonBenét Ramsey continues to haunt the nation. Her infectious smile, frozen in time through countless photographs and video clips, serves as a poignant reminder of a life cut tragically short. The quest for justice for JonBenét has transformed into a decades-long pursuit, captivating investigators, armchair detectives, and the public alike. Despite the passage of time, the desire to unravel the truth behind JonBenét's murder remains as strong as ever. New technologies, such as advanced DNA analysis and forensic genealogy, offer glimmers of hope, potentially unlocking secrets hidden within the existing evidence. JonBenét's story has sparked important conversations about child safety, media ethics, and the often flawed nature of criminal investigations. As long as the mystery remains unsolved, the public's fascination with JonBenét Ramsey will endure, fueled by a collective desire to bring closure to this tragic chapter and ensure that JonBenét's memory is honored not just with sorrow, but with a relentless pursuit of truth.